The mention of the name Azazel stirs up a lot of controversy across many texts of major religions. From an elusive specter receiving a scapegoat in Leviticus to a personification of evil in apocryphal texts, Azazel's identity is shrouded in mystery. Today, we delve deep into the enigmatic figure of Azazel, exploring his various portrayals and the beliefs surrounding him. Today in this video, I aim to delve deep and explain the meaning of Azazel across several religious texts and bring you some beliefs that many have regarding this elusive and mysterious entity. In the Bible, the term Azazel is used 3 times in Leviticus 16, where Aaron sacrifices 2 male goats on what would become known as the Day of Atonement. In Leviticus 16, the biblical God lays down some precise instructions for Moses to tell Aaron that these 2 goats are to be marked, one to be sacrificed to him and one to be used as a scapegoat. When the first goat is sacrificed to God, the second is to be kept alive and brought before him. Aaron is instructed to place his hand on the head of the goat and transfer all the sins of the Israelites by a confession. This is why the goat would become known as the scapegoat. The goat would then be taken to a remote place with all of their sins embodied within itself and be released into the wilderness of the desert. As we have seen in Leviticus 16:8, Aaron is to cast lots over the 2 goats, 1 lot for the Lord and 1 lot for Azazel. By this, it means to show us that Azazel is another entity, one who is considered to be the polar opposite of the biblical God, possibly even an evil entity, hence why he's the one receiving the scapegoat with all the sin imbued within it. Furthermore, this translation sees Azazel mentioned again in Leviticus 16:10, where it reads, "The goat, which has been designated by lot for Azazel, is to be stood alive before the Lord to make atonement on it by sending it away to Azazel in the wilderness." By this, we can understand that Azazel is an entity that lives in the wilderness or the desert, as some say, and that the goat he receives is a symbolic representation of man casting away his past sins and delivering them to where they belong, out with Azazel. While Azazel does not make another appearance within the Bible, some rabbis have deduced that the name Azazel itself gives away a clue as to its meaning. Azaz, meaning strong or rugged, and El, meaning God or of God, could be referring to the rugged cliff from which the goat was said to have been pushed by he who escorted it out of the desert. In the Jewish text, Yoma, which deals mainly with Yom Kippur, otherwise known as the Day of Atonement in Judaism, in the Apocrypha literature, however, which are other Jewish religious texts that are rich with angels and demons, it tells us that Azazel was actually quite a prominent figure. He appears in the book of Enoch, a book that details the fall of angels known as the Watchers before the Great Flood. However, in chapter 6 of the book of Enoch, we are told that the children of men had multiplied and that they had beautiful daughters who were born unto the world. The angels saw these beautiful mortal women and lusted after them, deciding that they wanted them as wives and wished to impregnate them with their own seed. It's understood that their leader was an angel known as Samyaza, and in chapter 6 of Enoch, he actually tried to dissuade them from committing to such a plan, as he says, "I fear God will not indeed agree to this deed, and I alone shall have to bear the penalty of a great sin." A less detailed version of this is also described in Genesis 6, where we see the sons of God saw the daughters of men were beautiful, and they married those they chose. The book of Enoch goes into great detail on this relationship of the Watchers and the mortal women, where it states that the Nephilim was the spawn between the Watchers and the mortal women. It also details that these sons of God led humanity astray, and they taught them heavenly secrets. The Nephilim are only mentioned in Genesis 6:4, but the Bible does not go into further details, where it states that there was Nephilim on the earth those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. However, in the book of Enoch, the Nephilim, as seen as violent and chaotic giant beings, and the sons of God, the Watchers, are detailed as malevolent as they ignore Samyaza's warning to leave the women alone and convince him to join in. They swear an oath that together they will take the mortal women and make them their own. In the book of Enoch, chapter 6, a list of angels involved in this act is provided, but Azazel's name is absent. In chapter 7, the book of Enoch explains that these Watchers corrupted the women, teaching them charms, enchantments, and warfare. They revealed the secrets of heaven and God, sharing knowledge that was never meant for humanity. The giants, born from these unions, were very violent and chaotic. As I had mentioned earlier, the book of Enoch explains that they turned against mankind, devouring them and all their food, and when the food diminished, they turned on each other, drinking each other's blood. In chapter 8, Azazel is specifically mentioned as the one who taught men to make swords, knives, shields, and breastplates. He introduced them to the metals of the earth and their uses, leading them astray and corrupting their ways. While leaders like Samyaza and other Watchers taught various subjects, it is notable that Azazel is mentioned first and assigned the more aggressive task of teaching mortals about tools of war. Unlike others who taught about plants, weather, astrology, and the earth, Azazel is uniquely noted for showing mankind how to wage war. Despite other angels also leading men astray, Azazel is singled out for his war-related teachings. Because Azazel teaches such a destructive topic and is mentioned first in this chapter, many believe he is a leader of the Watchers, or at least commands the same respect as Samyaza. However, some dispute this since Azazel is not mentioned in chapter 6, where the main Watchers are listed. Others think Azazel gains his notoriety here because he alone introduced warfare to humanity. In chapter 9, the archangels Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel look down from heaven and witness the havoc wreaked upon the earth by the Watchers' meddling. Their gaze quickly falls upon Azazel, whom they blame, stating to God, "Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which were preserved in heaven." They then accuse Samyaza, the leader of the Watchers, asserting that he should have exercised his authority more wisely. They proclaim, "They have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sin, and the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness." In the subsequent chapter, chapter 10, God commands Archangel Uriel to warn Noah, instructing him to hide thyself and foretelling the imminent destruction of the world, setting the stage for the story of Noah and the flood. God also tasks Archangel Raphael with binding Azazel, ordering, "Bind Azazel, hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness. Make an opening in the desert which is in Dudail, and cast him there. Place upon him rough and jagged rocks, cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever. Cover his face, so that he may not see light, and on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire. Heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish, through all the secrets that the Watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. The whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin." Azazel is singled out for the bulk of the blame, likely because he uniquely divulged the secrets of weapons to humanity. Archangel Gabriel is dispatched by God to incite conflict among the giants, causing them to annihilate one another. Meanwhile, Archangel Michael is tasked with binding Samyaza and the other Watchers for 70 generations, forcing them to witness their sons' self-destruction before being cast into the abyss of fire on their judgment day. Azazel reappears in chapter 13, where Enoch, now established as a scribe, is instructed to reprimand the watchers. Enoch declares, "Ye have brought great destruction on the earth, and ye shall have no peace nor forgiveness of sin, and since they delight themselves in their children, the murder of their beloved ones shall they see, and over the destruction of their children shall they lament, and shall make supplication unto eternity, but mercy and peace shall ye not attain." Through these chapters, Azazel's role as the principal corrupter is cemented, marked by his unique transgression of revealing forbidden knowledge, thus bearing the brunt of divine wrath and judgment. In the third book of Enoch, often called 3 Enoch, Rabbi Ishmael's journey into the heavens unveils profound encounters. During his ascent, he beholds the divine presence of God and meets several celestial beings, including Metatron. In 3 Enoch 4, Rabbi Ishmael inquires about Metatron's identity. Metatron reveals that he was once Enoch, saved by God during the Great Flood and transformed into an angel. Check out my video on the archangel Metatron here. Metatron further recounts his arrival in heaven, where he encountered Azazel and 2 other angels, Uzzah and Azazel, as mentioned in 3 Enoch 4:6. Despite being judged and bound by Archangel Raphael in the first book of Enoch, Azazel appears in heaven, challenging Enoch's divine ascension. However, God silences Azazel, proclaiming, "I delight in this one more than all of you, and hence he shall be the prince and a ruler over you in the high heavens." This decree solidifies Enoch's authority, rendering Azazel submissive. This transformation is emphasized in 3 Enoch 4:9, where Metatron recalls, "All stood up and went out to meet me, prostrated themselves before me, and said, Happy art thou, and happy is thy Father, for thy Creator doth favor thee." Another intriguing narrative emerges from the Apocalypse of Abraham, a 1st century extra-canonical Jewish text. Here, Azazel is depicted as an unclean bird disrupting Abraham's sacrifice. In Apocalypse of Abraham 13:6-14, an angel instructs Abraham to perform a sacrifice to God. As Abraham proceeds, a bird descends, urging him to abandon the sacrifice and leave the angel. The angel identifies this bird as Azazel, declaring, "This is ungodliness. This is Azazel." The angel condemns Azazel, stating, "Disgrace upon you, Azazel, for Abraham's lot is in heaven, but yours is upon earth, because you have chosen and loved this for the dwelling place of your uncleanness." This encounter suggests a link to the times of Enoch, when Azazel and his watchers descended to earth, indulging in forbidden unions and corrupting humanity. The angel's tirade against Azazel reinforces his fallen status, asserting that he cannot sway Abraham, as Abraham is his adversary. The angel proclaims in 13:14, "The rest that is in heaven was formerly yours, has been set aside for Abraham, and the mortality which was his has been transferred to you." This reveals that Azazel, once a heavenly being, is now cast out and weakened, his former glory now Abraham's inheritance. Through these texts, we witness the intricate dynamics of divine favor, celestial rebellion, and the ultimate triumph of chosen mortals over fallen angels. In chapter 23 of the Apocalypse of Abraham, we witness a celestial ascent as the angel and Abraham journey to the heavens. Here, Abraham encounters God and is shown the dramatic fall of Adam and Eve with a peculiar twist. As Abraham gazes upon this ancient scene, he spots a shadowy figure lurking behind the tree. Abraham vividly describes this being in verses 7 and 8. Standing behind the tree was one with the semblance of a serpent, yet possessing hands and feet like those of a man, and wings upon its shoulders, 6 pairs in total, 3 on each side. Curiosity piqued, Abraham questions God in verses 9, 12. Who are these who are embracing, and who is the one between them who is behind the tree, and what is the fruit that they are eating? God's response is revealing. This is the counsel of the world. This one is Adam, and this one who is their desire upon the earth is Eve. But he who stands between them represents ungodliness and their journey to perdition, Azazel himself. This narrative intriguingly casts Azazel as the serpent who tempted Eve, a key figure in humanity's fall. Notably, Abraham's vision deviates from traditional depictions, presenting Azazel with wings, hands, and feet, hinting at his once angelic nature. As the story progresses between chapters 28 and 32, God reveals to Abraham the judgment awaiting humanity in the end times. A figure known as the Man, or the Relief, will emerge, worshipped by pagans and even by Azazel. In a divine vision, Abraham witnesses this man suffering abuse and mockery. The vision's climax is startling. Azazel approaches, kisses the man on the face, and then stands behind him, signaling his allegiance. And as I watched, I saw Azazel approaching, and he kissed him on the face, and then stood behind him, Abraham recounts. God clarifies that this man is the Messiah, destined to combat God's enemies and inspire hope and righteousness among the people. While the traditional biblical accounts often identify Jesus as the Messiah, this text never names him explicitly in the apocalypse of Abraham. However, a compelling parallel emerges. In Luke 22:48, Judas betrays Jesus with a kiss, mirroring Azazel's kiss to the Messiah. This suggests that the Messiah, the Relief in the apocalypse of Abraham, could indeed be Jesus, with Judas representing Azazel. In the concluding chapters, Azazel appears once more as God warns Abraham of the fate of the wicked in the end times, stating they will beautify in the belly of the crafty worm, Azazel, and be burned by the fire of Azazel's tongue. This chilling image serves as a stark reminder of the ultimate judgment and the enduring influence of Azazel. Abraham serves as a sign of the future, where much of the world falls into evil, with many aligning themselves with Azazel and following his malevolent path. This suggests that God and Azazel become rivals, with God embodying good and Azazel representing evil. It appears they share the same world, but in the end times, God will ensure that those who followed Azazel are destroyed by him. Azazel can be likened to Satan, or might simply be another name for Satan, as he opposes God and seeks to corrupt humanity. Azazel is not officially mentioned in the Quran, although many Islamic interpreters believe that Azazel, known as Azazel, was the devil's name before his expulsion from heaven. Some believers think Azazel was an archangel, while others believe he was a jinn, an evil spirit or demon in Islamic faith. Interpretations like the Tafsir and the stories of the prophets suggest that Azazel was a hybrid of jinn and angel. Scholars studying the Sahaba propose that before the Islamic devil, Iblis was cast out for refusing to bow to Adam, he was known as Azazel. Some theories suggest that Azazel was either an angel who lost his status due to his defiance, or a jinn who earned God's favor and was admitted to heaven but later sent to earth to subdue the jinn. In all these accounts, Azazel displays arrogance and consistently refuses to bow to Adam, believing himself superior as an angel. Another tale recounts that a prophet's companion claimed the jinn were once angelic beings who descended to earth to observe humanity but became corrupted by women, leading to sexual deviancy, wine consumption, and murder, a story similar to the Watchers in the Book of Enoch. Supposedly, Azazel was one of these angels, but turned away from sin and devoted himself to God. A group of 8th century Iraqi Muslim philosophers, called the Brethren of Purity or Brethren of Serenity, suggested that Azazel was a jinn captured by angels. He impressed the angels with his moral integrity and willingness to do good, earning a place among them before God. However, when asked to bow to Adam, he refused and was cast out. A 9th century Persian poet named Al-Hallaj, in his collection of stories known as the Tawasin, recorded various theories about Azazel. He noted that Azazel was called Iblis only after his fall from grace. Azazel had missions both in heaven and on earth, preaching good works to angels and warning humans about evil deeds done by jinn. This suggests that Azazel's spread of evil was not due to malice, but rather a neglectful explanation, as he only told humans about bad actions without providing the contrast of good actions. Al-Hallaj also delved into the intricacies of Azazel's name, analyzing its phonetics and their meanings. He concluded by detailing the argument between Azazel and God, where Azazel declared his inability to bow to Adam, made from earth, while he was made from fire. He considered himself a martyr before God, leading to his banishment and eventual return to flames. Azazel is mentioned in various religious texts, many of which are non-canonical but intriguing. Unfortunately, there are also fanciful tales from so-called scholars and translators that paint Azazel in a certain light without substantial religious backing. Many of these accounts are modern interpretations, and I may have omitted some due to a lack of evidence. If you think I've missed something crucial, please let me know in the comments and share your thoughts on Azazel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Until next time,